Are we ready, boys? Hit it. How's it going, folks? Women, children, people of all ages, all genders, all anything. Whoever you are and you happen to be listening to the T Bloom Talk Show, welcome to the T Bloom Talk Show. Another episode of the number one podcast in the world. I am your host, T Bloom himself. It's a Tuesday. It's 12:30 p.m. here in Tacoma, Washington. It's a goddamn cold day. I woke up this morning freezing in my 2-blanket bed. And let me just tell you, yeah, it's cold out here. Okay? It's time to go get the jackets on. Get the kids some beanies. Put them in some beanie boppers and send them out to school in about 3 jackets because it's cold out here. But anyway, it's Tuesday, which means we are past another week of the NFL football season. That was NFL Week 10. And I just got to say, let's just sit right here and really just take it in. We're in the midst of one of the greatest NFL seasons. Every NFL season's great. I don't know what's super great about this one compared to the others, but you know what I mean. Let's really soak this in because in about 2 months, we're going to be just depressed because football season's going to be done. It's going to be gone, and we're going to be stuck here watching basketball, you know, trying to convince ourselves that it's just as good, but it's not quite as good. So, with that being said, we're going to go over all the games that happened this past Sunday, including last night's game in Santa Clara, California. San Francisco just took on the Rams. And then I will give you my prediction for Thursday night's game. And then we also have a couple topics that I want to key in on, get your guys' thoughts and opinions on. But for starters, we will open it up. And disclaimer here, I'm not talking about what happened Thursday night against the Ravens and Miami Dolphins. I don't think any of us want to even go through that whole analysis of it. I mean, you saw what it was. It was a complete S show on the Ravens side, and the Dolphins got a win out of it, right? What else is more to talk about there? It's an anomaly. It shouldn't have happened. It will not happen again. I I I, I don't know what else to say besides that. So that's about as much as we're going over with that game. Other than that, though, we'll go through every other game, starting out with Pittsburgh versus the Detroit Lions. The defeated Lions versus coming into the game, the 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. And as you guys know, I'm a Pittsburgh Steeler fan, so I got a lot to say about this one. Some of the takeaways in this game. Mason Rudolph is not that guy. By the way, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. We tied with the Detroit Lions. The Pittsburgh Steelers tied with the Detroit Lions. No Big Ben Roethlisberger or not. That's not acceptable. It's not okay. And you just hate to see it as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But anyway, some takeaways of the game. Like I said, Mason Rudolph is just
not that guy. Okay. Yeah.
And he's not. And I thought we knew that. I thought we knew 2 seasons ago when Ben Roethlisberger was out for the year and he had multiple chances to step in and make himself, not only develop, but also show him, hey, maybe I can be a starter. Maybe I can be the Pittsburgh Steelers' next quarterback when Ben Roethlisberger retires. Wrong. We found that out 2 years ago. So I thought. But anyway, he's still our backup to this day. Mason Rudolph, number 2. Literally, number 2 on the depth chart. Dwayne Haskins, I guess we've seen enough of him. Don't want him to come in and maybe show us what we got with him. Let's just go with Mason Rudolph, the guy we've seen, start 8 games for us while Big Ben was out. Anyway, he's not that guy. The first drive looked good. Yes, he led the team down, scored a touchdown. Good. I was happy for him. I've seen that before, though, from that guy, right? Seen that before. Because right after he did that, right after he, seemed like he maybe have got his shit together, he fell off the map after that. He's lobbing balls in everywhere, inaccurate throws. Guy can't throw a deep ball to save his life. He can't hit nobody in stride. His receivers were coming back to the ball all day. I don't know if he's trying to get PI calls or what his problem was, but the guy's just not that guy. Second takeaway. The Lions coaching staff is terrible. Um, I don't know if it's because Jared Goff had a little bit of a hip injury and they didn't really want to, stress that too much, but they ran the ball literally every play. I mean, DeAndre Swift had 33 carries. Like every single play was a guaranteed run, and they was successful for a little bit. But then once the defense knows you're running the ball all the time, it's not really hard to play defense against when you know a team's run. You see what I'm saying? Lions offensive coordinator, whoever's in charge of calling those plays over there, kind of suck. Um, Also with their coaching staff, again, we have the ball with a minute 30, fourth quarter. We're on our own 10. We have one timeout. They have two timeouts. Mason Rudolph, it's a 1st and 10. Mason Rudolph throws a little dump pass. It's about 6 yards in the middle of the field. And instead of letting that clock kind of tick down, the Lions take a timeout. Okay, cool. That's fine. You take one timeout. Maybe you need to adjust your defense. You weren't feeling particularly confident against Mason Rudolph. I don't know how. Okay, you take one timeout. Still got one more. Stop the clock for us. We'll take it. Stop the clock with like a minute 20. Another boom, dump off. Mason Rudolph for like 8 yards, middle of the field. What do? Take another timeout. Stop the clock for us again. Why are you taking timeouts back to back? Do you guys want to lose? I think he's just in his head too much. The head coach over there, like, he's just seen it all. He's going crazy. That's what 0-8 will do to you. It'll make you go crazy. I've personally never felt that feeling, but I can see it in the way this guy's coaching. Yeah, taking timeouts for Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't understand that. If someone can help me out with that, feel free to email me, tannerbloom@yahoo.com. Third takeaway, Pittsburgh has a little bit of a fumbling problem that we need to get fixed. Deontay Johnson fumbled a clutch catch that probably would have ended up putting us into field goal range eventually. But he fumbled and Detroit recovered. And then, I hate to say it, our rookie sensation tight end, Pat Freiermuth, fumbles the ball with about 13 seconds to go, right on the sideline. It was the most bizarre fumble because that ball, he was running out of bounds, it looked like. And once the ball popped out, it just stuck right on the sideline. It didn't roll out, it didn't bounce around at all. It just stood still right on the sideline. And yeah, so two clutch fumbles. I wouldn't call them clutch, but two fumbles that we need to clean up, we need to fix if we want to be playoff contenders, if we even want to be NFL contenders at this point, right? You know what I mean? If we even want to contend, you can't fumble the ball in those situations. A little heated today. That's okay. And my last takeaway of the day is, I mean, I don't know if it's a takeaway, it's more of like a question. Jared Goff. I mean, where do we go from here? I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. I don't know if he's decent. I just don't know. I mean, think about this. Jared Goff went from one of the best coaching staffs in the league to now the worst coaching staff in the league. He went from one of the best rosters in the league to now the worst roster in the league. So I don't know if it's too fair to judge Jared Goff in a bad way. Like, how do you expect him to do good with what he's surrounded with? I mean, his best weapon's DeAndre Swift. Nothing to DeAndre Swift, but that's a running back. I couldn't even name one receiver for the Detroit Lions. I just watched the whole game against him. I don't know if this performance and these struggles that Jared Goff has been going through are particularly his fault. How could they be? He's got a head coach who's taking timeouts for the other team, and he's got a roster that maybe wouldn't even be as good as Bama's roster. Now, obviously, that's Snickle Fritz, right? I'm Snickle Fritting you. But you get what I'm saying. I'm not too sure on what Jared Goff stands and what type of quarterback he is at this point in his career. Anyway, some notable stats. Mason Rudolph, 30 for 50, 241 yards, a TD and interception. That's notable because he threw 50 times and had 241 yards. Pittsburgh, The tests are over. The experiment is over. Mason Rudolph is not good. Najee Harris, 26 carries, 105 yards. We keep feeding him that much, he's going to get hurt or he's not going to last. We got an extra game this year. You can't rely that much on a running back, especially a rookie running back who's used to playing 12, maybe 13 games a year. Now we need him to play 20, maybe 19, 20, something around there. If all things work out, another one, DeAndre Swift, 33 carries, 130 yards, 133 yards and 33 carries. Cameron Hayward, 2 sacks. We're going to talk about Cameron Hayward towards the end of the show because he got disrespected by someone who you guys should know. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. TJ Watt also got a sack, came off of the injury. They said it's a hip and a ankle injury. That's okay, though. He looks to be fine and in tip-top shape. Anyway, yep, Pittsburgh ties the line 16-16. Moving on to the Bills versus the Jets. Now, in this game, the Jets defense tried to hold on for as long as they could. They did. But eventually the Bills offense was just too much, and they just started rolling and going and doing what the Bills offense does, maybe better than anybody, which is put up points. And the Jets just are not built to come back like that, right? So, few takeaways. The Jets are not ready to be good. They aren't. The Jets are just not ready to be good yet, and that's okay. They don't need to be good this year. It's next year that I really put the pressure on. Because next year, that coaching staff has, a whole year to develop players or go, the rookies that they just brought in, instill a certain, mindset into them. And then after that second year, you got a whole year, to develop. That's where you really start seeing how good of a head coach you have. And by the way, got 2 beefing Jet head coaches. Rex Ryan beefing with the head coach for the Jets right now. I can't remember his name, but the bald guy, Energy, that's what I call him. Guy's always excited on the sideline. Looks like they're beefing. Rex Ryan said, "Don't compare that guy to me. Let's not forget what I did, bringing the Jets to 2 AFC championships back to back, only to lose. But still, Rex Ryan, if you guys may not know it, he's kind of a legend, so to speak, in New York or in New Jersey. Interesting stuff there, to say the least. Another takeaway: Mike White is, well, he's Mike White. He's not the savior, right? It was fun. It was fun to think, hey, what if this kid Mike White just comes in? No one thought this guy'd come and start balling out. Then he does. No, he threw for 4 interceptions today, and or not today, that game, and yeah, he is just
Not that guy. Okay. Yeah. You?
thank you. All right, and number 3 takeaway: the Bills are a good football team, just like we thought, right? Okay. Notable stats: Josh Allen, 21 for 28, 366 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. Stephon Diggs, 8 receptions, 162 yards and a TD. Mike White, 24 for 44, 251, and 4 interceptions. Not going to happen. Not going to make you a better team. Bills win it 45-17. All right, moving on to New England versus Cleveland. Interesting matchup going into this game. If the Detroit Lions and Pittsburgh Steelers weren't playing, I would have been watching this game with a close eye. 2 contenders, supposedly. Game starts. Cleveland marches down the field to score a TD. It looks like they are pissed off. All this Odell stuff, he doesn't want us. Well, god damn it, we don't need him. We march down the field and score a TD right away against one of the top defenses in the league. New England says, oh yeah? Bet. Let me match that. Marches right down and scores a TD. We look to have all the makings of a good old-fashioned shootout. A good old-fashioned 35-42 game, and it's going to be a fun one. The kids are going to love it. Wife might even tune in on it because it's just so goddamn exciting. Cleveland gets the ball back, throws a pick. That's no big deal. All good shootouts need some goddamn turnovers. And Cleveland's doing that. Like, okay, pick the ball. That's fine. No big deal. No big deal. New England scores, right? and then they score. Okay, New England scored 2 times, and then they score, and then they score, and then they score, and you see where it keeps going out of hand, right? Cleveland, it's like Cleveland didn't get the memo. Hey, we're trying to have like a big shootout, we're trying to score a lot of points. Um, you're only at 7. We're at 30 something. Yeah. Yeah, so Cleveland didn't get the memo, obviously. They bring a pistol to a shootout, right? They bring a goddamn Colt 45 to a shootout against Al Capone. You see what I'm saying? They didn't get the memo. So Cleveland goes down 45-7 against New England. Some takeaways. I don't want to be that guy, and I know I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and it may be out of place for me to say this, but Cleveland and Baker Mayfield's best days may be behind them. And it might have been against Pittsburgh last year in the playoffs when they whooped us. They went up, I think it was 28-0 in the first quarter or 35-0. One of those. I mean, that was their best days, I think. I don't think this gets any better for this organization or Baker Mayfield. Hard to see them making the playoffs after this loss, right? Um, Baker's out for the foreseeable future with a knee injury. Left the game early. They got a tough schedule ahead of them. They got to play the Ravens twice, Green Bay, Pittsburgh, the Raiders. It's not looking good for Cleveland right now. Another takeaway is New England is for real. Faux real. Mac Jones looks great. Defense is hitting on all cylinders. And I don't know, 2 words, Bill Belichick. They're sitting pretty. They are sitting pretty and they look damn good. Some meaningful stats. Mac Jones, 19 for 23, 198 yards, 3 TDs. Nothing sexy. Nothing that just stands super out, but efficient. Gets the job done. Mac attack Jones. Great job. On to the next game. Dallas versus Atlanta. This was a statement game for the Cowboys. And I don't think I'm going as far enough to say that the Falcons never stood a chance in this game. They didn't. They just never did. It was 7-3 with 13 minutes and 24 seconds left in the second quarter. By halftime, it was 3-36. I mean, god damn it. 36 points or 29 points within 13 minutes. I mean, once it gets to that point, ATL they're not built to come back from that. They just ain't. Matty Ice, he ain't got the weapons he needs to come back from that. Dallas would end up winning at 43-3. Some takeaways. Cowboys aren't messing around this year. We've seen in years past where they would go on like a skid, like after coming off their blowout against Denver last week, getting just smashed by the Broncos. We would see them, maybe drop 3 in a row, make this NFC East division a little bit interesting, right? No, not this year. They came to play. They put it on the Atlanta Falcons when they needed to, so you got to give them credit with that. Second takeaway, Falcons aren't good. We kind of knew that, though. Third, how much of this success is because of Mike McCarthy? How much? Where does he rank in the top head coaches? These are questions that I presume to you. It had me thinking. So I dug. As any good analyst would do, they dug deeper. They went to the stats. Here's some interesting takes, or interesting stats I found about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy, over his career, has a .606 win percentage. You know who that's better than? John Harbaugh, Jim Mora, Mike Ditka, John Madden. Excuse me. That's not. He has 136 career wins, which is more than all those guys I just listed. His .606 win percentage is a better winning percentage than Chuck Noll, Bill Parcells, Tom Landry. Household names. What I'm getting at with this about Mike McCarthy and this whole stint about what I'm talking about. He's a better coach. that I think a lot of us give him credit for. And yes, he played with Aaron Rodgers most of his career, or coached Aaron Rodgers most of his career. I get that. I understand that. But now he has a chance with the Cowboys to really prove and to really solidify himself as one of the greatest head coaches ever. At least, maybe not even ever. Let's talk about the ever. Let's take out the ever crap. Let's talk about right now in the NFL. You put Mike McCarthy top 5 head coach? Why not? Why not? If the Cowboys go into make the first or second seed, hell, if they make the Super Bowl, like I said, Coach McCarthy has the chance to rely or to really solidify himself in the all-time head coaching ranks and also in the coaching ranks in today's game. I said what I said. If you want to battle on it, bring up the stats. We can do a debate at any time. Just message me at tannerbloom@yahoo.com. You know where to find me. Moving on, Jacksonville versus Indy. Trevor Lawrence getting a crack at one of the NFL's mediocre team, or not mediocre, better teams of the season. Jacksonville went down early in this one, 17-0 in the first quarter. They bring it back to 17-23. Their ball on the 50, fourth quarter. They got a chance to win the game. And Trevor Lawrence fumbles the ball with around 50 seconds left to go, give the Colts the W. That sucks, not only for Jacksonville, but just Trevor Lawrence. You don't want to do that. You know, you're supposed to be that guy. You're supposed to be that guy. And for you to do that, not a power move at all. Not what you want to see in your rookie quarterback who you thought, maybe would make you a little better. I mean, I know Urban Meyer's got to be pissed off right now. I'd be livid because they had a chance to take out the Colts. But let's talk about the Colts. Colts improved to 5-5. What does that mean? It means they're at 500. It means they're back in business, baby. It means that AFC South better watch out because they're coming for the number 1 seed. And also, a takeaway here. Jonathan Taylor is good, right? Easy. But where does he rank in the top running backs in the league? He's got 937 yards rushing. That's first in the league. He's got 9 TDs. That's third. He's got 9 rushes that are 20 yards or more. That's first. His longest run of the season is 83. That's the first in the league. He has 0 fumbles, which, my God, when you get that many carries, he got the third most carries in the league, and you have 0 fumbles? Sign me up. And his fastest mile per hour recorded this year is 22.02 miles per hour. Again, first in the league. That's not just including running backs. So when you think of the best running back in the league, who do you think of? McCaffrey? That guy down in New Orleans, Alvin Kamara? Derrick Henry? But why not Jonathan Taylor? Why not Jonathan Taylor? He's got the stats. The eye test is passed. These are just questions I presume to you to let you think a little bit more. Hey, this guy Jonathan Taylor's for real, and he needs to start earning our respect. He has earned our respect. We need to start giving him that respect. Another takeaway. How much of T Law's, Trevor Lawrence, I like to call him T Law, sick name, hopefully it'll stick. How much of T Law's struggles are because of him, and how much are on Urban Meyer? I don't know the answer to that question. I presume it to you guys. I'm still pondering that myself, but just to get is it Urban's fault? Is it Trevor Lawrence's fault? I mean, is it the rookie head coach, or is it the rookie QB, or is it none of those guys? Third takeaway, the Colts look to have everything it takes to make the playoffs and be a good playoff team. They can run the ball. They have I wouldn't say a wily veteran, but a veteran nonetheless at QB, Carson Wentz. Even though he does struggle to make, smart plays, he struggles not to make stupid plays. That makes sense. Turnover machine. But when he's on, he's on. And when he's good, he's damn good. They also have a pretty good defense. Not an elite defense, but a pretty good defense who shows flashes. Well coached. That's for sure. So my point with this is don't think the Colts are out of it by any means. In fact, if I were a betting man, I'd put $5 if they make the playoffs. Just saying. But anyway, Indy would win that game 23-17. Meaningful stats. Jonathan Taylor, 21 carries, 116 yards, and 1 TD. Just proving again that he's one of the league's top running backs in the league. And let's give him some goddamn credit because he deserves it. Moving on. Panthers versus the Cardinals. Oh. The Cam Newton comeback game. Cam Newton is back with the Panthers, and it's like he never left. I'm glad no one took the number 1, by the way, because if he would have had any other jersey number but number 1, it wouldn't have worked. Cam Newton was responsible for the first 2 Ds and off to a 14-0 start. And Colt McCoy's just not built to come back from that, right? Cardinals still out with Kyler Murray not playing. Had to throw old Colt McCoy out there, who did his job against the San Francisco 49ers. But that was against the Niners, not the Panthers defense. The game was over as soon as Cam put that jersey on, let me tell you. I love this story. I really do. I hope Carolina rattles off the rest of their games and they go to the Super Bowl only to lose to Pittsburgh. But you get what I'm saying? I love this story. I am rooting for the Panthers as long as Cam Newton is on that team, but raises some questions. Well, some takeaways. Number 1, Cardinals need Kyler Murray back. They needed him back yesterday. 2, Panthers are not out of it just yet. They're 5-5, just like the Colts. And that AFC or that NFC South division, the top 2 teams, New Orleans and the Bucs, are a little bit of a struggle bus right now. So I think they have a chance. I'm not saying they will, but to make a strong push for at least, second in that division, maybe first. They get it together. If Cam Newton comes back like MVP Cam, I don't see why not. Don't see why not. But my third takeaway is, did I mention Cam Newton is back? Did I mention he's back in the Carolina Panthers? It only matters that he came back. If he goes to any other team, wouldn't matter. But the fact that he came home, that's like a plus 10, all of his attributes. He went from like a 77 overall QB to an 87, just like that, just by coming back to Carolina. But what the hell does this mean for PJ Walker? Like, does this mean is he Cam fighting for that spot? Is he eventually going to get it? Or is he going to be the backup and he's going to be a wildcat? I mean, what does this mean? If I were them, you got to put Cam in as your starting quarterback right away. I mean, don't play around with this. You have this momentum on your side. Do not play around with it. Use it. And don't use it half-assed. Use it full. Put Cam in. That's what I would do. But, I mean, it still rings questions. What do you do with PJ Walker? I don't know. These are questions I ask you. I hope maybe you go do some research. Maybe you could tell me. Hit me up at tannerbloom@yahoo.com. That's right. TANNERBLOOM as in Mary at yahoo.com. Anyway, Panthers would take this one 34-10. Not much else to talk about there. Moving on. Titans versus the Saints. A little bit of briefing of the game. The game basically came down to a Saints 2-point conversion, which was then denied by the Titans with roughly a minute left. Saints could have tied it to make it 23-23. They don't. Trevor Siemian did all he could. I mean, the Saints just have nobody on offense. Alvin Kamara's out. I mean, you got Mark Ingram, but you got number 14 Mark Ingram, not number 28 Mark Ingram. A little bit of a difference there. Some stats. Trevor Siemian, 298 for 2 TDs, no interceptions. Shout out to him. Ryan Tannehill, 213, 1 TD, 0 interceptions. Jeffrey Simmons of the Tennessee Titans gets 2 sacks. Gotta love our defensive players. And Marcus Johnson, the receiver from Tennessee. A little bit of a career day with 5 receptions and 100 yards. Shout out to him, getting in triple digits. Some takeaways. Tennessee's holding on by a thread. The loss of Derrick Henry, I don't know why it affects them so much, but they need him, right? That offense isn't what it used to be. It's not as scary without Derrick Henry. And I know it's obvious, but it's not like it's not only just scary or not as scary. It's like it has no hops to it. You know what I mean? Julio Jones is non-existent. That guy's practically retired. I mean, AJ Brown, yeah, you got AJ Brown, but that's it. Ryan Tannehill he's topped out. I just think they're holding on by a thread, and I think they're going to lose a couple games that they shouldn't have. And I don't know. I hope not. I mean, as a Steeler fan, I hope, but I just don't see them being much of a competitor coming late in the season. I don't. Okay. And Mike Vrabel's a goddamn good head coach too, top 5 in the league, and he's going to have that team ready to play at all times. I just don't think they have enough to compete with the top teams in the league. Second takeaway: New Orleans ain't giving up. They never have. Ever since, ever since '06, they ain't never going to give up. New Orleans is going to fight for that playoff spot to the end of the times, no matter if Trevor Simeon's their best player on offense when Alvin Kamara's out. No matter if the offense has absolutely zero weapons besides Alvin Kamara. That defense is playing fine. We're trying to. Trying. Third takeaway: Trevor Simeon is doing all he can with what he has. Yeah, not going to repeat myself too much on that. You know what I'm talking about. Titans would win it 23-21. Titans improved to 8-2, number 1 in their division. Saints 5-4, 1 game back from the Tampa Bay Bucs, which we will get into a little bit. Second in the division. All right. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, of course, the Bucs versus the Washington football team. Can't get over the fact that they called themselves a football team. Just the most boneheaded mistake ever. The entire organization should up and move ship. They should no longer be called the Washington anything. They should go to London. They should go to Mexico City, or they should go to Ireland, somewhere else besides Washington, because they screwed the pooch with that one. Can't ever come back from that stupid mistake. That's what I think. Let's talk about the game. Bucs versus Washington. Pretty much Washington got out with the lead and just held it all game. And to do that against Brady is it's magical, to say the least. Brady and his receivers look to not be on the same page at all. Multiple balls bouncing off receivers, bouncing up. I mean, a lot of plays that were made by the Washington defense I didn't see as Brady's fault, but more of just mistiming, miscommunication with him and his receivers, which I guess you could blame him, but you can also blame his receivers too. Washington D also making it hard for Tampa to move the ball down the field. Got to make it hard on Tom Brady. Hard to make it hard on Tom Brady. Came to a point in this game. Washington is up 23-19. Tom Brady just threw about a 40-yard TD pass to Mike Evans to make it 19-23. Washington has the ball with about 9 minutes to go in the game. Washington winded down, does a 9-minute plus drive for a TD, doesn't even give Brady a chance to get the ball back. Doesn't even give a chance for Brady to even try and get the ball back. And here's the kicker. It's 4th and goal on like the 2-yard line. 19-23, 30 seconds left. Tampa has 0 timeouts. They could kick a field goal, make it 19-26. Tampa would get the ball back with 26 seconds left, having to score a touchdown with 0 timeouts. This is how much they respect Brady. They go for it. Let's talk about this. They respected Brady so much that they were like, no, we can't get that guy the ball back with any time left in a 1-possession game. If we're going to win this game, it's going to be because we score a touchdown, make it a 2-possession game with 26 seconds left. The power Brady has. And if you're saying that's not because of Brady, you're crazy. They kick a field goal, go up 19-26 with 0 timeouts. You think they're doing that with... You think they don't feel comfortable against any other quarterback with that? Maybe Aaron Rodgers. Any other quarterback that's done. You're done. 26 seconds left, 19-26. No, you're done. But just the power Brady holds, man. It's special. Kid's got a lot of talent. That's funny. Takeaways. Taylor Heineke's a gamer. Always has been. Balled out when he needed to. Made some clutch and impressive throws. You guys take you back to the last time these two faced in the playoffs. Almost did the goddamn same thing to the Super Bowl champs. Shout out Taylor Heinicke. Number 2, the Bucs are missing a key piece to their team. Oh, they are missing a key piece. And without this piece, they are worse. Can you guess who it may be, or what it may be, or how it may be? We'll save that answer. We'll talk about that later. We got a couple more games to go over. Philadelphia versus Denver. Philly would win it 30-13. I mean, not much to talk about in this game. Wasn't too impressive. Philly got out, scored 10-0. And then the Broncos are the Broncos. They ain't coming back for that. Jalen Hurts, 16 for 23, 178 yards, 2 TDs and interception. Jordan Howard, 12 carries, 83 yards. A little bit of a resurgence in his career. Devontae Smith, or excuse me, not Devontae Smith. Oh, yeah, it is. It's Devontae Smith. I need to trust myself more. 4 receptions, 66 yards, and 2 TDs. The rookie gets it done as the Eagles improve to 4-6, 4-2 on the road. Did you know that? Did you know that the Eagles are better on the road than at home this year? Would have never guessed. Next game, Minnesota versus the LA Chargers. Guys, what's happening to Justin Herbert and the Chargers? They lost 27-20. He ain't putting up the stats like he used to. Scary stuff for an LA fan over there. Scary stuff for both LA teams. I mean, Jesus. Speaking of LA, let's talk about what happened last night. LA Rams versus San Francisco 49ers. You thought Odell was all it took? You thought you needed Odell? I'm sorry, but Odell ain't scoring you 21 points. And that's how much you needed just to tie the San Francisco 49ers. My dad said something that was very interesting, had me thinking. The Rams are all gung ho and, selling out and throwing everything out that they can get the perfect roster so that they can win the Super Bowl, trading for Von Miller, then snagging Odell. My dad said, you know what that tells me as a player? They don't trust me. So I go, what do you mean they don't trust me? How could you come with that? Well, think about it. You're a player. You've been on this team since training camp. You've been playing your ass off. Your team's doing good, by the way. You're not struggling. But for some reason, your organization that you play for doesn't think that's enough and decides, hey, we got to trade for Von Miller because we don't think you're enough. Okay, fine, just one player. But that not only you're not enough in the defensive side of the ball, you ain't enough on the offensive side of the ball. We got to sign Odell, head case Beckham. I mean, think about that. How that would affect you as we're not enough? Coach, you need Odell? You mean the guy who ran himself out of Cleveland? Guy who hasn't made a meaningful catch since the days he played in New York? That Odell? I'm not enough, coach? Just some food for thought. I'm just saying that locker room could be in shambles right now. And not only that, but just get fucking whooped on Monday night. Just absolutely whooped by Jimmy G. And let's talk about the Niners for a second. How awkward is it in the locker room right now in that QB room? Little awkward. Hey Trey, name's Jimmy. I'm doing pretty good now. We're not sure if you're ever gonna play, because I'm doing good. May have just wasted our first round pick for something we're not even gonna use. I mean, that's an Akko taco to say the least, and I ain't eating it. I ain't eating it. Anyway, San Francisco 31, LA 10. KC versus Las Vegas. KC's back. I also feel bad for Derek Carr. Derek Carr has gone through more in these last 2 months than any any person I know of. First, they start out hot. I think 4-0. They look like the team that they were supposed to be years ago. Derek Carr's looking like an MVP candidate. And his coach gets in a scandal. Jesus Christ, head coach getting God damn it. Okay, let's keep going. Oh shit. Henry Ruggs, one of my top receivers, turns out to be a real POS. Now he's stuck with guys like um uh I don't know, whoever that guy was that caught the ball and then fumbled while as he had a wide open touchdown. I mean, I don't know. Those kind of guys. Derek Carr, I feel sorry for you, man. Shout out D Carr. Shout him out. KC would win 41-14. They look to be back. And then we're not even going to go over this very much. Green Bay versus Seattle. Seattle looks trash. Uh, I love to see it. Hate the Seahawks. Always have, always will. Green Bay would win it 17-0. That's going to do it for all those games, though, on last Sunday. Thanks for sticking with me. Now we got a few talking points I want to discuss. First things first, there's a big matchup coming up this next Sunday, and it's the Colts versus the Bills. Like I said, Colts are sitting at 5-5. Bills are the Bills. You know, they're going to need to win. They're sitting at 8-2. But what's interesting about this matchup is the Colts have everything that it takes to be able to beat the Bills. And if they can somehow pull out a win and move to 6-5 and bring the Bills down to 8-3, that's going to make this AFC race a whole lot more complicated. And I can guarantee you the Colts are going to be ready to come out and ready to beat this team, and the Bills better be ready because the Colts are on the verge of turning the course of that organization and potentially making the playoffs. It's a key matchup you guys should definitely tune into this Sunday. The second thing is, you guys remember who Warren Sapp is? Yeah, let me remind you. He used to play for the Bucs back in the day. He's a D tackle. You know him if you see him. Real kind of a head case, you know. Once got arrested for trying to solicit a prostitute in the middle of his career. Yeah, that guy. He had a tweet the other day, and he tweeted a picture, and the picture was a graphic of the upcoming Sunday night football game of the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the LA Chargers. And you know how they put two players up, one from each team? They had Justin Herbert up for the LA Chargers, and for Pittsburgh, they had Cameron Hayward up. Warren Sapp tweets with that picture in the caption, "Who's 97?" Now, let's just stop right there. I know I might be a little fogged with my mind when it comes to Pittsburgh because I am a Pittsburgh fan addict. That means a fan that's addicted. I understand there may be some bias in what I get that. I can live with that. But I'm not crazy enough to think, or am I crazy? You let me know. To think that no one knows who number 97 Cameron Hayward is? Especially Warren Sapp, who is a analyst, I'm pretty sure, or at least used to be. He doesn't know who Cameron Hayward is? Now, he's either one, boofing, which means BSing, trying to get a rise out of Twitter, which he did, or number two, he's just stupid. Both of those options are not good for him. Who's 97? That's all I'll say about that. But I just out of curiosity, who knows who number 97 is on the Pittsburgh Steelers? Go ahead, email me, tannerbloom@yahoo.com. Third thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to make a prediction right here. I believe the New England Patriots will win the AFC East. I'm not going to break it down too much for you. I mean, we're getting pretty late here, but I'm just going to let you know that's my prediction. I think the Patriots are going to win the AFC East. I think the Bills will shit the bed, shit the pants, boof themselves, so to speak. And New England's looking really good right now. Looking really solid. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying they're going to win the AFC East. Sue me. Now, my last talking point comes back to that question I asked you earlier. Who is Tampa Bay missing? What are they missing? How are they missing it? Do you finally have your answer? Was your answer Antonio Brown? Because if it wasn't, let me tell you why it should be. Antonio Brown has played 5 games with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers so far. He has missed 4 games. Relatively even. About as even as you can get with a 9-game season. With Antonio Brown, the Bucs average 420 yards per game. Without Antonio Brown, they average 387. With Antonio Brown, they have a .50 third down efficiency rating. Without AB, a .45. So they're better at third downs with AB. Got it. Points per game with AB, 34.2. Without AB, it goes down to 18.25. Shishka. Guess the record that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have with AB. Just take a wild guess. They're 5-0 with AB. Without AB, they're 1-3. Tom Brady with AB this season averages 326.4 yards per game. Without AB, 309.5. So he beats him there. Okay. Tom Brady averages 3.2 TDs with AB. He averages 2.75 without AB. He averages 0.6 interceptions with AB. He averages 1 interception a game without AB. His quarterback rating is 108.7 with AB and 101.32 without AB. All of those statistical categories with AB, the Bucs and Tom Brady are better. And well, what about the competition, T. Bloom? Are they playing the same level of competition with AB as without AB? Yes. The combined win percentage of teams played of the teams that the Bucs are playing with AB is .500. That means they're 500. They're even. The teams that they're playing without AB have a combined win percentage of just .48. They're playing better teams with AB and doing better with AB. I bet you didn't know that until you heard it here first by T. Bloom on the T. Bloom Talk Show, the #1 podcast in the world. That's going to do it for this Tuesday, folks. I will be back on Friday to deliver all of my upcoming games on that Sunday. You know what I'm talking about. I'll be back Friday. Oh, yes, my prediction for Thursday night. Jesus Christ, I don't even know what's going on. I'm just going to give you a raw dog prediction. What's going on this Thursday? Who is it? Oh, New England versus Atlanta. I'm going New England 45-0. It's going to be a shit house in Atlanta. Jesus Christ. New England's going to win. They're going to win the AFC East. I'm T. Bloom, #1 talk show host in the world on the #1 sports podcast, any kind of podcast in the world. T. Bloom, I'm out.